Hello and welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. Today I got a really special featured product video for you guys. And this in front of you right now, what looks to be kind of like a storage unit, is actually not. It is a Game Anywhere table. I haven't fully pulled it out for you guys to see exactly how this thing sets up, but I'm really excited to show you guys this table. And I'm thinking that this is going to actually be a hit with a large majority of people who are looking for a gaming table solution that fits their needs, because everyone's home, apartment, condo, whatever situation you are currently living in, this will fit that need. And this is something that I think was badly needed throughout the board gaming community, as a large number of tables are for the individuals who have rooms designated to gaming, or particularly large amounts of space that they can consume for large wooden hard-top tables. This actually provides a portable solution, which is incredible, not only for home use, but also for use outside the home as well. This is something that you could take outside of your home to your friend's house. You could take it camping. You can take it anywhere, really. And I want to show you exactly what this table is all about. Now, currently, I'm not going to go through the steps on how this table is assembled and put together. I will talk about it, but I'm not going to show you, because otherwise you'll watch me fumble over myself, possibly fall over and injure myself in the process. What I will show you is just how cool I think this product is and how much it may fit your need. It's up to you to decide whether this is something that you think would interest you. Now, what you're seeing in front of you right now is a gigantic black bag. This black bag was included with the Game Anywhere table. Let me give you some history on what this gaming, or where this gaming table really originated from. It originated from a Kickstarter, actually, that happened about a year ago or so. And this was from Transforming Designs Incorporated, based out of Chicago, Illinois. These guys this is the first project that they had, I believe, put onto Kickstarter, although they have had furniture type products before through their site, which you can go find their site in the description below. But the Kickstarter for the gaming table was the first one of its kind for them. Now, what they were aiming to do was to provide gamers with a portable solution, something that would fit their needs, be able to play the games that they want to play, and just in general, satisfy demand for something that may or may not be covered in the hobby currently. And I really think they found something that really isn't being done, or hasn't been done to its full potential. And so what you're seeing here is a result of a successful Kickstarter, which ended up with this gaming table in front of you right here. There was a large amount of different pledge levels for different tables, but the company was actually really great, and actually threw in a bunch of particular upgrades to the table that actually weren't even part of the pledge levels that people had pledged for. So they've really been great at follow-up and things like that. I want to give them a great shout out for that. Again, that's Transforming Designs Incorporated. You can see their description or links to their site in the description below. Let's just talk about the table for a second, okay? So what I've done here essentially is, when this table actually arrived to me, it came in this box right here. As you can see, it was mentioned that it was fragile. I went ahead and I picked up the Midnight Gray box, and I was able to pull this out of the box. It is heavy. It comes around 50 to 60 pounds for this particular model. You might sit there and say, well, that's pretty heavy. I don't know how much I want to carry that. Well, it actually is a lot more mobile than you think. The bag that comes in, now I guess let me backtrack just a little bit. If I take this bag off the table, what you're seeing here is essentially the table standing on its legs. And that's fairly obvious. I shouldn't even have to say that, but it's embarrassing that I just did. But down here below, there are basically two separate sections to each leg that you're seeing. So essentially, I could flip this table on its back, and I could pull half the legs out. So legs are basically inserted into the bottom of the table, and when they're not inserted, they're actually stored magnetically on the underside of the table, which I think is absolutely awesome. So you can crush this thing right down to a suitcase size. So you would take these legs, you pull when this table is flipped on its back on the floor, you pull the legs out, put them on the top of this tray here, which is magnetic. So all these accessories and all the legs and stuff like that are magnetic to the bottom of this casing. And then on top of that, what you do is you take this right-hand portion, which you can see based on the hinge here, would just fold over on itself. And when it folds over on itself, you're talking about I don't know, this could be, I think it's about that's probably like 2 feet, probably less than 2 feet. Yeah, it's about 2 feet. I believe it's about a 4-foot table. So it's about 2 feet to here and then across about 2 feet. So it's like a 2x2 kind of square. And then that 2x2 square is closed in on itself and could insert itself into this bag. Now, this bag is awesome. First off, they gave this as part of being a Kickstarter backer for this particular promotion. The really smart thing they did with this was they allowed for a hole in the top so that when you go ahead and crunch this thing down to its smallest size, you're actually able to get a handle which will pop up through the bottom. If I can find this here, where is this handle? There it is, right there. There's a handle that will come through that top portion of the bag, and you're able to actually carry it by hand, or you can actually throw it with the shoulder strap over your shoulder. Again, at 50 pounds or so, the shoulder strap is okay for light carrying, like from a vehicle to a house, that type of thing. But if you're planning on hiking into the mountains and setting up a gaming table, probably not. That's probably not the best idea you could probably pull off. So essentially, this is the table, and I'm really excited to show you guys this. I'm going to try to walk you through it and let you know just what this product is all about, because the cool thing is this product's not just for Kickstarter. They will and are offering this table on their website as well for purchase in the future. So once the Kickstarter backers have been fulfilled and they're near the end of that, then we're going to be moving forward, or they will be moving forward, I should say, with future products. And the cool thing about this is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is a 4x4 table. And I believe that the next one up is going to be a 4x6. So they're going to give it even more width. Now, you might be looking at this going, that's a pretty thin table. I can go to Costco and pick this up already. This is not very wide. Well, I haven't opened it yet, and you'll see how big this thing gets once I do. When I purchased the product, this actually came with some instructions. It actually is very, very clear in terms of what they're looking for prices. Again, that stuff's on their website. In terms of information here, they have a good walkthrough in terms of how you're supposed to actually open the table up. So they're showing, you can even see it visually like I was explaining. It looks like a suitcase with a top spot for the handle there. You pull it apart, you fold it over like so. You pull the legs up and you secure them at the bottoms like you would do with most folding tables. And then you go ahead and, like I was saying before, you pull the 4 halves of the legs in, and you throw those into the 4 different spots for the legs here, and they're all just going to click into place. So you're inserting those leg extensions in. Then you're coming over here, rotating the table onto its side. You're sliding your leg locks in, like I already mentioned. Stabilizing pins, these are really cool. So there's these little pins that are magnetically attached to the inside of the table. You're going to take those pins out, and you're going to lock your player stations in. And that actually is essentially where we are at. So we've gone ahead and actually where we are right now, if I'm not mistaken, let me just double check the next page. Oh no, sorry, we are further ahead than that. So you actually move your pins from where they were locked originally to the player stations. And so I'm going to stop looking at this and I'll show you live kind of how this thing unfolds, because it's a little bit more exciting. Now what you're seeing here at the bottom, so once you flip that table up, you've done all those steps I just showed you, you flipped it up and stuff like that, then you've got all this in front of you. And you're looking at a bunch of accessories that they've actually included with the product. So for instance, you've got yourself a card holder that's can hold up to 3 rows worth of cards, and it's magnetic. It can connect magnetically to the metallic bottom of the table. This one's a really, really long one, which is awesome. Again, I use things like Uber stacks. I'm a huge fan, but these are also nice for, for more storage and things like that. This one right here is a player pocket. And it's durable, has magnets on the bottom. Again, can be used for things like, I don't know if you're thinking about games, tokens, ticket to ride trains. You could roll your dice in this. You can think of a number of different things. You'll also notice on the bottom of this table, they've gone out of their way to actually laser engrave into the metal the different things that this table can be used for. So right here, for instance, it says card shoot. I don't have a card shoot currently, but I will be picking up some more accessories, and actually their second wave of accessories is coming in the mail very soon. So this is the preliminary set that comes with the table, but their second wave is going to come with even more accessories like card shoots and a dungeon master end to the table that allows for like D&D gaming and all kinds of crazy stuff. There's a lighting situation, an LED lighting solution that will allow you to put lights on either side of the table, colored, regular white, remote controlled, plugged into the wall. It's craziness. But anyway, so going back to this, you've got these things. So for now, I won't talk too much more about the accessories because, again, each player area essentially has the accessories and they're equal. All right, the only thing difference-wise is just these are just dividers for the table, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So when the table gets flipped up for the first time, this is in the pin closed position. You obviously don't want it in the pin closed position when you're going to go ahead and try to open the thing. So you just pull your pin straight through, and you actually move it over to the pin open position. And what this is going to do, if I can do this with one hand, looks like I can. So you're just going to basically go like that. I'm going to try not to destroy anything while I do this with one hand, which makes things a little bit more entertaining. But the pin is in, that easy. It's very, very simple. You're gonna go ahead and pull this pin out on the other side, and you're gonna pull this through over here and stick this through. This one might require a little bit of, there you go, you just kind of jiggle it in and you move it and bam, you're in. Awesome, done deal. Simple as that. Now, the real reason that I'm excited about this table, and I may have mentioned this earlier in the video and I just want to clarify, there are a lot of tables on the gaming scene in board gaming that are hard oak tables, extremely expensive, 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000. Like they just keep going up and up and up and up. In other words, the normal person, the average consumer of board games who does not have, number one, a room to put a gigantic table like that in, number two, financially able to do so, this is a table that I think finds that middle ground of, I want something nice that I can use in order to play games with my friends, but at the same time, something that is going to be mobile, something that I can just close up when I'm done with it and put it in the corner of the room, and my room is not just consumed. So you can turn your living room, your dining room, your kitchen, you can turn any room in your house into a board gaming room. That's what makes this table so mind-blowingly cool, and the reason why I was so on board with jumping into it. So again, just want to give you some backstory kind of in terms of how, as to why I'm as excited as I am about the table. So again, you're going to go ahead and put your pins in like I just did here, and then you just simply lift. Everything's locked at this point, so you're lifting your table back. Then your table is going to sit into this position, and you've got one side of your table. Now you'll notice this table has grown exponentially fairly fast. Not only do you have a player station right here, but you've got half of a game board area here and as well here with another player station over on this side. I'm sorry for the focus. It's kind of going wonky. It might be because I've got a crazy grayscale situation happening here. I'll try to do my best to avoid that. Okay, so coming over to this other side, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to go ahead and you're going to, and maybe what I'll do just before I flip this is I'll grab a couple accessories. So this one right here is the player kind of area breaker, you could say. It essentially breaks up the player area for you. So when you come over here, you can actually put this black thing right here, and you'll notice it's magnetic. So this player area right here, this whole area right here, this whole area right here, all the accessories that come with the table are magnetic and will attach to both these player areas. However, normally they don't come standard with this main area being magnetic. However, I think they may or may not allow for customization so that you can have the middle portion be magnetic as well. But they currently don't. But I think it's really cool the player areas are, and that's where it really makes the most sense in my opinion, because your accessories are going to sit in your player area. You're not going to have them in the middle of the table. Maybe if you're talking card shoots or you're talking dice towers, which they do have, they may be in the middle area. But for the most part, most of your stuff's going to be sitting here. So for the first wave anyway, for Kickstarter guys, we've got all these kind of accessories, and these are player kind of accessories. So your player pocket, for instance, is going to sit, I'll just take these things out one at a time, try to do this as nice as I can. Again, these are pretty strong, so it takes quite a bit, but you'll see there's 3 powerful magnets, and then these ones just 2. This player pocket has just 2, but man, do they ever stick to the table. So I'm going to go ahead and pull all of these out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this thing back and show you guys kind of what it looks like. So we already know what the other side looks like, and now we've got this side done. So now we've got the full table kind of pulled out. I'm going to go and kind of go back a little bit so you can see what this thing looks like. So what you'll notice here is you'll sit there and say, wow, okay, so the center of the table has a lot of support. The wings, not so much. That is true. What you'll also notice about the table is the sides, or of the sides of the table, kind of slant upwards. Why is that? Well, that's because they've reinforced the table for leaning. So for instance, if you're sitting here and you're leaning on this side of the table, they've got that give there. So you can actually put some stress on it but it's going to keep its flexibility intact, and it's also not going to have the table come up, flip over on you. However, if you put your full body weight on one side like an absolute fool, you absolutely will flip the table over, because I mean, that's just physics. That's just the way it'll work. But if you're actually just leaning like I am right now with your arm and putting a decent amount of weight, it's just going to bend that player that player area down, but it's not going to actually flip the table or cause any damage. So basically what you got here in front of you is a bunch of accessories. Now, in the main board game area, none of this stuff, it's all just kind of slides around. And I don't know if you can see it on camera, maybe I'll zoom in real quick, but this right here is speed cloth. You guys can probably see that now, but it's gray speed cloth. You can get this in a, I believe, a walnut finish. So as you can see over here, a walnut is the, I believe, the wood type. So I've got black. As you can see, midnight, I guess, is called. Sorry for the focus there. Midnight, walnut is the other one. And I got gray speed cloth. You can go ahead and get sand. So it just depends on your room and how you want things to look. But I went ahead with that anyway. So here's the player pocket. Bam. You can put that on. It's magnetic. It stays put. If you want to try to hit it, it's going to stay in the same location. I love that. You've got your player aids here. So let's say, for instance, and this is going to be kind of, it's a live demo, so I can't set up something in this particular one, but hey, maybe in a separate video, what I'm going to do is set up some games. But let's just say, hypothetically, you were playing Lord of the Rings. You've got yourself your heroes, like, you know, however you want to play. Obviously, this was not how you'd set up Lord of the Rings. You'd have your hand of cards here. But the cool thing is you got 3 rows across these things, so you can stack them however you want and stuff like that. You've got a separate one over here to the side. It's really cool. Like, I like it a lot. This is a large table for a 4x4 table. So this is going to be larger than your typical, I guess if you were purchasing or already own a square type table for your kitchen, then this may not be the solution for that. But if you're looking for a gaming table that has width rather than length, which a large majority of kitchen tables are very, very long, but they're very thin, they're slender. So in other words, in terms of width, they probably end about here, and they probably go to about here. And that's about as much as you get. So you put your board in here, and I can tell you right now, just looking at this area right here, and from what I know from putting games on this table already, Arkham Horror and a general Ticket to Ride game, for instance, the board rides from here to here. So it stays within these lines, no problem. You got lots of length. Ticket to Ride started here and went to about here, and I think left about another foot or so of space on the other end. But if you're on a typical table, like a kitchen table, something that's long and narrow that most people have to deal with at home, that game is taking up all of your area to play in. In other words, when you're sitting at the table, your board's coming all the way out to about here, and you're playing in about this much area space, and it's just ridiculous. You don't have, like, you're trying to put your elbows on the table, plus put your cards on the table, plus try to play the game, and all those things combined, there's just not enough space. This is one of those tables that actually gives you a great amount of space, something that I currently do not have, and I'm super excited for it. So again, this is only some of the accessories out so far, but these are the ones that came with the product to this point. The other thing that's really cool about this is you might go, well, you know, it's a table, and that's about it, right? But it's not all. There's other things to this table. You can purchase on their website an LED light fixture, which will attach itself somehow in the future here within the next month, right here to the side wood panels. And when they show up here, they're gonna have, obviously they'll be plugged into the wall. If you want to use them, they'll either be able to be in frosted white, so you can get a nice white LED look to the table, or you'll have a remote control and you can change between colors. I'm gonna have that in the future, and I will be doing a playthrough of that. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be extremely cool to play games like Shadows of Brimstone or something, Blood Rage, and be playing a game like that on the table. And when you're playing Blood Rage, have the whole table be just glowing in red, and be able to turn the lights down, something like this, and just play in the dark, right? And I mean, I probably just screwed up the focus on the camera, and I'm still waiting for it to come back. There we go. So what we have here on the side of the table is a badge from the Game Anywhere table. You've also got yourself cup holders, of course. Now, these are decently deep. They're deep enough that you can put a good tumbler in there. If you're talking wine, pint glass, regular glass that you'd have in your kitchen for beer, whatever you want to drink. But Most people had responded on the Kickstarter saying a deeper cup holder would be even better. And so what they've done is they've gone out of their way to actually include that, and there's going to be an option to get a deeper cup holder just to ensure safety. Not really, I shouldn't say safety. I guess the worst thing that could happen is you could ruin your clothes or something could spill on the floor. But at the end of the day, you want your cups to be lower than your table edge, mainly, especially in a portable table, because if the cup is starting here and the height ends about here, half or more of the cup is above this wood edge, and one good hit and bam, you've got a disaster. So the one thing about this table that still gives me kind of a little bit of a hesitation is putting a real tall glass here, because I just think it is possible that someone could walk by and knock it, and once you do that, you've got problems. However, this is speed cloth, and any water that hits it, and I've already tested it, you can take some water and douse the top of the table. Of course, you wouldn't drench it, but you can take a cloth and wet it and wipe it, and then it'll dry up in no time flat, and there's no damage to the table or anything like that. Speed cloth is very resilient to that type of thing, so you don't have nothing to worry about there. Of course, if you're spilling Coke or wine, that's a whole different situation, and on any fabric, that's going to cause problems. But overall, like in terms of the product and whether or not I endorse it, I do endorse it. I think they've got something here that is unique, that is something that's not being done well. There's a lot of companies I've seen that have done these products, and I was on the lookout prior to jumping onto the Kickstarter for this one, and I kind of sat there and said, you know what? I'm interested in a table that's portable, something I can close up, put in the corner, bring out when I have friends over, move to different rooms of the house, bring anywhere outside the house if I feel like it. But at the end of the day, I don't know. There are certain situations where it, I don't know. There was the majority of the tables that I was seeing online, just they were missing the mark for me. Something was missing. Like either the table didn't crunch down to a small enough level, it was too heavy. There was quality issues. The tabletop itself was maybe just made of straight terrible construction quality. Like it wasn't speed cloth. It was like just something ragged, like just something random they had thrown on top. So I just really appreciate the fact these guys went the extra mile and turned a table into something totally viable. Now the other thing they threw in totally for free, and something that they will be putting on the tables as well, is for all the people that are super concerned that somebody could lean on the table over on this side here and put an extreme amount of weight, like I was talking about, pushing this thing down. As you can see, give-wise, there's not much give. It's just enough to like give it a bounce, but that's it. But for those people that were super concerned about the give, they actually included magnetic extensions to the table, so you can magnetically attach a leg. Now right now that doesn't, oh sorry for the folks there, that magnetic attached leg is a temporary solution. They're going to be giving us basically kind of a connection piece right here that's going to allow us to secure it to ensure that it never moves again. But for those people that are overly paranoid that somebody's going to come in here and just lean on this and destroy it, they added those in for completely free. And I think that the fact they've gone to that level of customer service shows that they actually care about making this a viable product in the future. Something that I'm excited to show you guys about, something I think you guys may want to check out. So if you guys like what you see, give me a thumbs up, let me know, and until the next time, keep on rolling solo.